Hi, welcome. This is part two of Baking for the Local Kids, introducing them to a little bit of the Jamaican cuisine, primarily in some favorites of ours. So it's your girl Chef Twellyah, and tonight I'm gonna be working on some Jamaican cornmeal pudding. We're gonna do them pretty large. Because we're looking to see how many of a school body of 700 we can feed with our treats. Hi, Mrs. Husbands. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Be sure to like my stream, my video, share. And if you have not already subscribed, then please do so. Hello. I can't do that like you, girl. I cannot. No way. I cannot get it like you. So I'm just gonna flip the camera around and get busy working. Thanks for liking, and I hope you like my stream. See you, I mean, by what I'm doing. Got it? All right. So I'm gonna try and zoom in a bit so you guys can see in real time what it is that we're working on. You can ignore the trays, just sorting that out so that we could have it ready. So when the batter is together, we can put it all in. And that's pretty much what we're doing right now. The first thing on the menu is the Jamaican cornmeal pudding. To-do. Yes, it is yummy. So first thing is first is that we go ahead and we get our sugar into the bowl. Pre-measured already, so we're good to go. And we're going to do the coconut milks. So we're putting 4 of these. This is a triple recipe, is it? Yeah, no, quadruple recipe that I'm doing today. Because we want to do 2 of the long trays. So I'm going to use a half this of hot water for each tin that I use. Ooh, suki now. I missed the strip. And it got in there. I'm pulling it out. Can't afford to get paper in the kids' food. Yep. There we go. Got it all. So you dissolve the sugar in the liquid and it gives for a better consistency for your end result. So that sugar is pretty much mixed out as I want it to be right now. Gonna get the second can in. I'm gonna get some water. You put it back on?
You were working over here. Then run to everything else.
Yes, you get into, I'm just letting you know that everything you say go into my stream because I'm mic'd today. But it's okay. It's all love, so it's good. You can tell me that I'm a bad instructor. I don't mind. You hear that, guys? I started halfway through something and then I jumped to something else, and my friend had to take up the slack. So I'm being held accountable. I like it. She's always like that. She holds us accountable, so we don't get away with anything. This is rich. I'm getting the hot water. And I'm going to add 2 condensed milk into this mixture as well. So if you're planning to do something like this and you want to know the recipe, it's 6 cups of sugar. I'm using brown sugar. We're using 2 cans of condensed milk, and we're using 4 cans of coconut milk. But I have a feel I'm going to add a couple more, just because cornmeal is dense. And because cornmeal is dense, it absorbs the moisture very quickly. Wow, wow, the chat is blowing up. Or other people, yeah. What is that tea? Zara Smith, that's C7K. This tea is Jamaican cornmeal pudding, girl. What's your kind of tea? And let's see, who else did I miss? Yes, you're right. It is a dessert. But you know, Mrs. Husbands, what a teenager, I'm now understanding when they say spill the tea or what is that tea? It's a generalization. So the gossip, what are you doing? It's all called tea. So it's all good. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna add some vanilla extract. That's about a teaspoon. And I'm gonna add in this mixture my salt. Normally, you see me, I'm using up. So I am correct, Mrs. Zara Smith, C7K. I got you right on that one. The melted butter.
It's weird, but you know, I'm not going on your camera.
My friend is camera shy, guys. She's not coming on, not for anything. So if you see arms extended and the body passing by quickly, it's my friend. All right. So I need 1 teaspoon. So that was a half. And I added to the liquid because it dissolves better. Sometimes your salt literally get trapped in your dry mixture, and then you taste a bit and it's all salty. And I don't like salty dessert. I don't know about you. All right. So now I'm adding in my melted butter. So yeah, I was telling you guys the recipe, right? So it's 6 cups of sugar, brown sugar. Then you're gonna need 2 cans of condensed milk, and to that, that's your sweet. And you're also using 4 cans, 4 to 6, because not all cornmeal are made equal. So depends on the cornmeal that you get. You may end up needing 6 cans of the coconut milk.
Should I open it up?
Yeah, you can give me one more, please. So everything is in. So far to make this dessert the decadent, rich Caribbean delight that it is. Gonna go ahead now and pour in the condensed milk. Thank you. And surprisingly, making cornmeal pudding is rather easy. It's not challenging at all. It can be intimidating because it's such a delicious dessert. A lot of people might feel intimidated somewhat by it, but there's no need to be intimidated by it. Second can. And I'll get a little bit of warm water in each can as well. just to do that rinse and to ensure I have adequate moisture for my cornmeal mixture. So the last can, and you may think that this is way too much. No, it's not. No matter how much liquid you think you have, the cornmeal will just suck it up. So we've added the melted butter. We have the condensed milk. We have the coconut milk. Now I'm adding the flaxseed. So flaxseed works as an egg replacer. So it also helps to ensure that the moisture in the pudding is maintained. And to keep the properties at its peak, then if you're able to go ahead and grind that just before you need it, that's best. Sure. So I'm adding the flour mixture to the oh, I realized I interpret slowly this time around. She wanted the pans to get them prepared, and I thought she meant the other stuff that I had used up, but it's all good. So yeah, where are you guys watching me from? Yes, darling, it is a delight. Super delicious. And I know you know that they're delicious because you've had it in the past, right? So you can testify. Okay, and there's nothing settled in that. I had just a little water in the 2 cans just now. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out. Just because some of the milk was stuck to the bottom of the tin. And I want to make sure I do all those grandmas justice by getting it. I still didn't get it out still, but it's okay. I will work with what I have. It's almost completely there, so I think that was a good attempt. Yeah, this one was easier. Alrighty, so flour is added to cornmeal mixture. Now this dry spices. This is nutmeg. That's 2 grated nutmeg. You did 2, right? Yeah, 2 grated nutmegs. I'm going to put just a pinch of the star anise, literally just a dot, nothing major. A little bit of anise because I find it brings out all the flavors. I'm going to put a ½ teaspoon of, actually I think I'll put a whole teaspoon because I usually put a half in the regular double batch. And this is you'd say 4 times. So yeah, that should be fine. And I'd put a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. And you might say, why would you need this? It's not a cake. It's a pudding. It's supposed to be doughy. Yeah, but you don't want it to be dense. You want it to have a slight cakey feel, but full pudding. And I'm now going to add some mixed spice. And I'm going to put some cinnamon. And then I'm going to stir to ensure it's all together well. You can be generous with your cinnamon and nutmeg. Now, if you are someone who like to use the spices that we use in black cake in a pudding, you can definitely go ahead and do it for sure, for sure.
Wait, you need the coconut and the raisin?
Yeah, so just a little sidebar. So for the raisins, a quarter cup, and we're gonna put a teaspoon of flour over it and just shake it so that,
Quarter cup for that big butter?
yeah, just a quarter cup. Raisins are plenty.
No, they're not. Quarter cup is not.
Trust me when I tell you. You want to give them a lot of raisins?
How much
Okay, you can do a third of a cup. Or maybe it's because I don't like raisins. Sorry about that, guys. Tell me in the chat, for such a large batch, for a tray, you think a half a cup, quarter cup, or a third of a cup is sufficient when it comes to raisins? Let me know, guys.
Two cups of carrot, is it?
Hmm? Coconut?
Coconut.
Do you want it in both batches? You want it in both? You want it in the whole thing? You want the coconut in the entire thing? Okay. That is what we would get back home.
Sorry, good.
1.5 cup. So we're going to do some shredded coconut in here as well.
Let me hear what the chat says.
I'm not here getting in the chatter. The chat is very quiet about the raisins. So I'm like, if you want, we can do a half cup because it's only one that's getting raisin. One will have and the other will not. So if you notice, even while I'm still stirring and I'm cutting the spoon across and around, it's because I want to make sure the flour and the spice is completely incorporated into the cornmeal. That will prevent me from getting lumps as I'm mixing out. Trust me, you don't want lumps. So you take the time to blend all the dry ingredients together. And then when we're done with this and this gets in the oven, my next favorite thing to do is what I'm going to be making up. And that's some cocoa cinnamon rolls. Yeah, this looks good now. I'm not seeing any section coming out. That's just plain cornmeal. Oops, spoke too quick. There we got some. And because it's a big batch we're making, it can happen. So most people do not put baking powder or yeast in their cornmeal pudding. That's my cheat method. And it ensures that my pudding is baked in exactly 1 hour. So I continue to use it. Today I've decided that I'm going to do the topping separately. So I'll create a drizzle for it, but I will put it on the top after it's done. And that drizzle is just going to be made up of some sugar, some spices, and coconut milk. So just give a little glaze, a syrupy glaze on top. So the same thing that's in the pudding already. Who knows? The pudding might bake out and I don't need to do it because it still naturally has it when it's done. But if not, no feedback from the chat right now. So as soon as you don't, I'll concede. I'll give a half a cup. Okay. You know, I need a dry cup. This is dry, right? All right. I'm just gonna add the dry mixture gradually. A lot of people like to put raisins in at this point. Nah, we're flouring the raisins and then we are adding it. Okay, you won't be. And why can you not come over here, my friend? Why can you not come over here? No, it's not. You're not going to be caught. Your face won't be in the. We may catch a little bit of your body, depending on how quickly you move. So in case you're just joining me, I'm making up a large batch of cornmeal pudding. And this is going to a local school here in the GTA, Toronto. And it's to introduce them to the Jamaican culture. This should have been from Black History Month, but the event is happening tomorrow. So they'll get a little bit of taste from the Caribbean, from the things that we're making up. So I'm sorry, guys, if I wasn't really paying attention to you just now. I've just been busy working, and my goal is to ensure I have no spillage and no bubbles. That's the intent right now, because it's a really large batch that I'm making up. It's been a while since I made such a large batch, many years actually. Last time I did this, I did it with the steam method. I did a steam pudding, and that was done in the oven. So it's been a long time. And by steam, I mean you started stovetop and you ended in the oven. That's a method that I say I'm going to teach you guys how to do one of these days, or demonstrate so you can see it. It's amazing how there are so many ways that you can make something. The end result is the same, because although this is a Jamaican cornmeal pudding, other countries in the Caribbean also make cornmeal pudding, slightly different, but the taste is very similar. And I think your spices that you use is a big factor with the final taste. And as I'm talking about spice, I'm realizing that I did not put any of the Benjamins. You know, we all know the Benjamins. Jamaican Benjamin. So why am I doing this right now? I see some pockets. And I know the pockets are the flour that didn't quite blend in with the cornmeal. So to ensure that I don't have any raw flour patches when it's baked, I just try to smooth them out as I can see it clearly in the batter right now. But it smells so good. I wished I had a camera that could show you the aroma as I'm getting it. The sweetness is on point. Add in some of that Benjamin because we know that is what Jamaicans are accustomed to. Ah, that aroma. So, so good. And that seems so as if I had too much liquid earlier, right? And you see as I gradually add the cornmeal blend, how it's not, that's gotten really thick. Let's put it that way. So we're using the Grace cornmeal, and I've found that I get better result using the Grace cornmeal versus the other cornmeals. The new pack is not too bad either, but I prefer the Grace for the end result. No, this is not sponsored. I'm just giving you feedback. So, you know, if you're going to make cornmeal pudding and you go out there to buy, my friend will just remind me that this is not promotion. It's not a paid video. It's not sponsored. I'm just explaining so that you know that if you are wanting to try this at home, the options that are available to you, which one should you try? Which one is better to use? And again, based on where you are, if you have something that's comparable, then go with the comparable. You don't have to wait until you get what I'm using to try it. If you find that it's a bit coarse, then you use a lot more liquid. So add an extra 2 to 3 cups of liquid and you should be fine. Because it just means you get a nice rich custard on top when you're done. And your dessert will be just as decadent. I've posted a recipe before. So it's there on my other streams. If you guys want a recipe, just drop the word recipe in the chat and I will put the full recipe as I'm doing it now. And then you just divide it by 3 to get the regular. So for this batch that I'm doing today, when I post, because my streams, they go private after I'm done. You won't be able to come back and find it until I make it public. And it's just because sometimes there's some little bits of things that happen in the stream that I may not want to have been on YouTube forever. Or maybe I want to chop it up and give you guys in smaller bits and pieces. So the stream will stay private. Unless I find that the entire thing is beneficial, then I usually would just go ahead and make it public. But it by default will go to private. So if you want me to give you the recipe, just indicate recipe, and then when I reply to you, you will get the recipe. There was just a little bit of milk sitting in this from me cleaning out and resting the spatula there, and I just decided to try to get it all into the pudding because that was the intent, right? I just have a small amount left to incorporate, and then I will try my best to get all the lumps I'm seeing dissolved. Just gonna put it all in. So I'm just gonna ahead and try to get this incorporated into the batter real smooth to avoid lumps. So slow is always better when you're doing this part. If I had a large mixer, I would use that. Just because it made the process go a bit faster. However, I do not, so I do the traditional way by hand. And that little lump, like an island sitting out there. Yeah, looks like something across the Caribbean Sea, doesn't it? Yep, I think I've got it all worked in now. I'm going to check to see if there are any noticeable bubbles to indicate. I'm seeing a couple, not many. And considering how large this batch is, that's pretty good. Just a couple more that I'm seeing. Seeing way less now. See those? Yeah, those are what I'm working on. Thank you guys for jumping on my stream today. I appreciate it. I know you guys have options out there. So here I do primarily plant-based comfort foods, quick meals. I love to do breads and dessert. And today I'm whipping up the Jamaican Cornmeal pudding. And this is to give some kids in the Metro Toronto area a Jamaican experience. Introduce them to some delicious treats from the island of Jamaica. I know if you were here from the beginning, you heard me say that like 5 times now, 6 times. Since that folks keep coming in and out of the stream, bending my knees and lift. Ooh, that is heavy. So now the trays are ready, and we just need to pour.
Raisin and the coconut. You know, you start adding raisin. But my man, I get used to it. I can pick out the raisin, I get used to it.
My friends think I'm giving a hard time with the raisins, guys. I am not. Thank you so much for jumping on. Wow, 15 folks. Welcome. Thank you for coming on and joining me while I bake up one of my favorite things to make. And it is the Jamaican cornmeal pudding. And I'm doing this along with my friend to help some kids in Toronto get an appreciation for Jamaican desserts. And so what we create today is going to be shared at the school, and they will get to taste and see that Jamaican cuisine is fantastic. So I'm just basically flouring my raisins. I think I shared a short last weekend about that. So flouring the raisins is a great way to ensure that your raisins do not all fall to the bottom of your dessert. Not sure if you all knew that, but just adding a bit of flour is a cool trick in that it allows the raisins to float. So that's what I'm doing right now. Flouring the raisins. So they don't go in right now. I put them in later. Just making some room here for my trays. Okay. Tray number 1. And my friend is reminding me that I didn't put the coconut in. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it in right now. So that way I don't get a chop over the head. There we go. Coconut is in. What says you? That looks good. There's something about coconut. And if you're watching any of my streams before, you will know that I'm a big lover of coconut. In fact, I'm usually eating out the coconut while I prep it. But how many of you know that a coconut is not a nut? It is a fruit. It's actually a single bearing nut that produces a fruit. But the FDA and all other places classify it as a nut, but it's not. It is a fruit. Let me know if you knew that. Tell me in the chat. It's oddly satisfying to stir that in. Okay, so now that we've gotten the coconut all incorporated, that's the word, right? For mixing in, you say incorporate the coconut or incorporate whatever into your batter. It's all done. I saw 1 and 2, 3. Do I get them? Yep. Okay. So now that's all stirred in. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in, half of this into this tray. And then the next tray will get the other. So let's see. Ooh, can I get this? Let's see. That was a half. I believe that's a half. That will prevent it from dripping. Yay. Okay, so batch number one, tray number one. And I'm going to go ahead and add the raisins to this batch. I'm cleaning up as I go so that I don't have too big a mess when I'm done. So you notice I did differently this time, which we lined with parchment paper. So wherever I drop the raisins, that's where they're going to live, literally. If I drop it with force, it will go through. And that way I can get some a bit below the surface. There we go. But if I don't like fling them in there, that's a Jamaican word, right? Which is for another word for way of saying toss. If I don't toss them in, they'll sit on the top. And when it's baked, it's going to still be on the top. See that? And there we go. I've got all the raisins in. So when it bakes, it's going to bubble a little bit. So that's going to get the ones on top slightly covered, but they're not going any further. They're staying right here. They'll float. See? It floats. They don't move. Trust me. Hello, my friend. Can you drop this in the oven, please? And 375. And we're going to do the second tray. You all know this trick, right? You can choose to grease the bottom of your of your tray. Put your parchment paper stick. It also works the same with water. If you wet the parchment paper and you wet your tray, it just naturally folds into place. Yeah. So this is going to go in the oven, and I'm going to pour the second one. And in an hour, this should be, yes, we're going to keep the water at the bottom of the oven. It will help these to bake better. Just saw a couple bubbles, so. Okay, I've moved the first tray. And I'm going to do the second now. I'll do the second tray. And here we go. So see, I'm going to do a separate one for us. This is just enough. I'm going to do a separate one. Do you have any melted butter already? You have any melted butter ready?
How much would be in there?
I'm gonna need 1.5 cup of butter. Yeah. Okay, so that's the second tray. And this one has no raisins. So those who like raisins can get from the first one, and those who don't will get from this. But they'll both get the Jamaican cornmeal pudding experience. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna do a really small one. You know what? We don't have room in the oven for the small one right now. So I'll do it. I can whip it. I'll do it later. But I need the butter to be melted because I'm gonna move into the.
For some reason, I'm looking for my glass containers and I can't find it.
Use those.
Use one.
These. They're oven friendly. Okay, guys, just doing a little cleanup. I'm gonna need a saucepan. So because I'm just changing out recipe, guys, I'm just rinsing my bowl. I am not gonna use any soap. I'm gonna transition to making the dough for the cinnamon and coconut cinnamon roll. Okay, we're good to go. Let's grab a piece of paper towel, dry my hands and the bowl.
Do you have any glass bowl over there?
Just a small. Yeah, I do have one. Just one. I have the one bowl and a small.
So you need the thing for the cinnamon, right?
Yep. So now for the cinnamon roll, I'm going to go ahead and combine the liquids. Well, some of the liquids. And then I will allow the yeast to be activated and then add the flour mixture. And that's what I'll do with that. Thanks for your patience, my friend. So my friend was in mid flow to doing something, and I just cut right before her. So I had to acknowledge her patience with me. Thank you guys for joining me today. I see I have 7 faithful persons here with me, and that is fantastic. Alrighty. So I'm clearing the surface because I'm going to need to mix everything together. Again, different batch, different recipe, but the same scenario. We're going to do liquids, and then we're going to do dries, and then we're going to combine. So what exactly am I putting in here? I need to put in some coconut milk. I need to put some cinnamon, some mixed spice, some vanilla, and some cinnamon. And that's going to give a melted butter. Flaxseed. So as you can see, this is a vegan recipe. And it tastes just awesome. Do we have water in the kettle? Is it boiled?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm using a can of coconut milk to start. I'm just pausing to let you guys know that I'm here. And I acknowledge and appreciate you guys being on with me. It's awesome. Pardon?
You need room for the food?
Yeah, how much did I sent you the recipe last night. Did you look to see?
You need 6.
Okay. 6 to 8, so do the 8.
Sure.
Yeah, did I tell you 1.5 or 2 cups of butter?
1.5.
Give me 2, please. Okay, guys, so you can see there, I was just opening up the coconut milk. That is rich. I'm going to use a half of that of warm water. Not boiling water, but warm water. Now, when you're doing this, it's important to remember that you want your yeast to be in a temperature that is less than 118 degrees, because that's what kills the yeast. Anything higher than that, it will kill your yeast. And I'm going to use a 1/4 cup. I can find the measuring cup. Where did I put that measuring? Was it here that I put it? I think I dropped it in here. Yeah. 1/4 cup is here. But normally I put like 2. So this is a recipe that is being doubled. So that's 1 teaspoon, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Okay. And the reason why I only use that, I don't like when the dough tastes of the yeast. To get the yeast activated, I'm going to need sugar. The sugar feeds the yeast and make it grow. You can choose to mix it up, or you can choose to just let it naturally expand. Well, you'll know that it's active because it starts to bubble. I like to add the melted butter and the flaxseed in before it gets fully activated. I find it seems to like the flaxseed a lot. I don't know what it is about the flaxseed, but the yeast looks like it loves it because it's always expanding really quick after I add it to the mix. To my spice, there's going to be a bit of cinnamon. You don't have to put it in the dough. I just find that it makes for a nicer tasting dough. And of course, I need 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's some spills. So technically, I should have half. I mean, a whole teaspoon. I just want to make sure I don't want to put too much. Okay. I didn't have quite. It was a bit shy. Okay, there we go. I still sprinkle it on. I've heard folks saying that yeast doesn't like salt. It's not necessarily true. It's just a reaction, a slowed reaction once the wheat gets combined with the salt. The flax seed, do that in warm water. And I find when I add it, it helps the yeast to bubble through faster. I'll put a bit of nutmeg in there. I'm going to use my trusty zester to grate the nutmeg. Is the flaxseed ready?
How much you want it?
That looks good.
Minutes?
You can give it 40 minutes.
You want the flaxseed? How much flaxseed?
I wanted a cup, but I'll work with this.
Let's put a cup.
Okay, guys, understand your patience while I work here. Because we prep a lot of things behind the scenes. Try to get it all, but because we're doing multiple items, some things, and it's a small space, so some things are not going to be in camera. So I'll talk you guys through stuff when I'm doing it. Okay, I've cleared the debris. I'm going to need another can of milk. That's a mixture of, we're mixing the flaxseed, using some bottled water along with some boiled water. So it's a cup of flaxseed that we're using for this recipe. While my friend is getting that together, I can do something else. We're going to need a spread that goes into the cinnamon rolls. I guess my liquid was not warm enough, so the yeast is taking a while, and that's fine. I can do something in between time, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to get 2 cups of butter. The normal is 1 cup to 2, so yeah, 2 cups of butter, and I'm going to need 4 cups. So I probably just do 1.5 cup of butter. So these things are really, really decadent. Thank you, my friend. So here we have the flaxseed. I can add it into this mixture. Spatula. And I'm going to add some milk. Not milk, melted butter, guys. I guess my body's tired. I'm calling the melted butter milk. There we go. Slowly mix that in. I'm coming. I don't want to make it too warm. So I'm just letting some of, because we melted it in the oven, guys. So what I'm doing is basically gradually introduce it so that I don't kill my yeast. But in less than 5 minutes, it should be ready. Should be bubbling.
What else do you need?
I'm going to use a half of this. And the other half I'm going to use for later. I'll show you guys what I do with it. It's still going to be in. Let's put in some of the melted butter in here too. It's what I put on top of the cinnamon rolls before they bake. Okay. I think it's cool enough. I can hold it. Okay. I remember putting a bit of the mixed spice in earlier. It will eventually get incorporated. Set this aside. I'm making as much room as I can. And I'm going to get another bowl now. You know what? I can use this bowl. No, it's not going to be large enough. I'm doing 1.5 and 4. So I need a larger bowl. The cinnamon spread. So for this, I need to actually have not seen any bubbles. Should be seeing some by now. Yeah, I'm seeing a few. I guess it's not working as fast as I wanted to, but the bubbles are coming. So this is a 1/4 cup. So technically I need 4 of these. No, 6 of these. That's a half. 3/4. That's a cup. Once I scrape this out, that's a cup. Okay. Need some more butter. Who's on with me now? Drop a comment in the chat and let me know.
Butter?
Yeah.
You give me the flour?
Definitely. You're not going to be in the shot, trust me. Look, it's only my hands that are in, so you're safe. That's a cup. I need a cup and a half. See? They don't even see you. I'm being liberal with these guys. No, for this I don't need hot water. I don't need any hot water for this. This is just taking long. I might add a little bit more yeast in there just to make it move a bit faster.
Did you measure your flour already?
No, nothing is measured.
Can you give me the measuring cup?
Which one?
The cup. Yeah, the cup one.
Mm-mm.
The cups one, the big one.
Mm-mm. I gave that back to you a long time ago. Yeah, I think you washed it out. You sure did. I'm gonna put a bit more sugar in the dough because I'm getting, I guess not all sugar are made equal. I usually use the dark brown sugar and I find that the yeast activates super fast with it, even when I'm doing a dry. Now that I've put the sugar in and a little bit more yeast, I'm seeing more bubbles. The yeast is active, it's just not as active as I want it to be. Once the pockets are showing, you know your yeast is active. Alrighty, so why am I doing that? I now need 4 cups of sugar.
How many flour you need? 6.
I need 8 cups of flour altogether, darling. But I might actually use 6 for the batter.
I'm just gonna give you 6 if you want 2 more after that. Okay.
I might end up using more because this is like 8 cups of liquid. Or 6 to 8 cups of liquid this, so.
So what do you want?
Give me 7. I'm going to put cinnamon in here because this is the spread. So you add it. You can put the sugar first or you can put the cinnamon. You cannot have too much. I'm not even bothering to measure the cinnamon. You can't have too much. So it's called cinnamon bun. The half cup measuring. Okay, it's here. That's not a half. Oh, it looked like it was the half. Thank you. So that's 1 cup. And I need to be using 4 cups. Did I put vanilla in the dough? I don't remember. Thank you to the 6 faithful who are watching me. The cornmeal pudding's already done. It's in the oven. It's baking. We'll check on it soon. But right now, I need to prepare the spread that goes between my cinnamon rolls. Wow. This yeast is not behaving normal. I see the bubbles, but it's not coming up. Let me give it some heat by covering it with yeah, please. Or maybe because I'm live streaming, why it's just choosing to behave this way. You know, the laws of nature, Murphy's Law. Because remember, I did this yesterday. I'm always making this. And I've never had a yeast being this slow to activate. And if I had killed it, it wouldn't have bubbled. I'm still seeing bubbles. It's just that it's not as many as I would like to see. So I have 1 cup of sugar in. Going for cup number 2 now. Let's get this stirred in. This is what will be used to sugar the dough. What I really want to show you guys is when we cut the doughs and the dough into rolls and we're rolling it out. So if my battery's going, I'm going to come off this stream, but I'll come back when we're making them so you guys can see in real time. It's just so amazing. I love that process of making cinnamon rolls. My daughter's always fascinated with it too. I think you guys would love to see that. I know most of the times I tend to roll it all out, but when you cut the strips, so we're at 2.5. We're at 3 cups. And remember, it's 1.5 cup of butter I use. And I put about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in here. I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla essence and some mixed spice and nutmeg to this. So that's the mixed spice. That's like a 1/2 teaspoon, if that much. Same with the nutmeg. I'm going to put a little bit more cinnamon. That's a teaspoon. I'm going to use a vanilla extract and just a drizzle. So nothing major. I just want to enhance the flavor in this bread.
Have you done the sugar coating?
That's what I'm working on. Okay. My friend was checking if I'd gotten through this processes yet. But what in between time, this is what I do when I'm baking. I don't just sit and wait and then I move. I'm like, what else do I need to have ready to continue the next stage? It's getting together nicely. So that's 3.5. Need a little bit more to make it to the 4 cups. I'm gonna just clean this as I go along. And get some more sugar. You had another one than this? I finished what was there.
Are you going to use that, all of that?
No.
But I have another one.
Okay.
You don't need it, right? No. And we have white sugar.
I'm just trying to find some scissors. This,
Do you use that one or you prefer to use the larger
it doesn't matter. My friend is asking.
different taste.
Yeah.
Here's scissors.
Need to snip my container so I can access the golden goodness that's inside. I'm not sure if I'm seeing any more bubbles in that since I've covered it. This is a better sugar for what we're doing. So I'm just gonna try to incorporate it all. Make it a nice smooth spread. If you're making a small batch of cinnamon roll or cinnamon coconut roll like I love to do, you just need really like a 1/4 cup of butter to 1 1/4 cup of sugar. But because we're doing a large batch, you could use a little bit more sugar, but I want it to be very pliable. But if I wanted to extend this a bit, could add a bit of sugar. But that's enough to do on the rolls. That should be sufficient. I'll leave the spoon because I'll need something to spread it smoothly across. Yeah, so now, see, I've got a very rich, creamy, velvety looking almost spread. I'm not really smelling the cinnamon. So I'll do what I do and I'm going to taste. I'm tasting enough. I will do a sprinkle when it comes time for me to roll out. I'll do a sprinkle on top. I'm going to wrap and set that aside. My flour is ready. Let's stop that right there. Can't afford to replace your phone, my darling. So you can't put it in the line of danger. My friend just has her phone like sitting on the countertop with all the liquids and all. Oh my!
I did not have it there. I was just looking at the recipe, and I'm sure you can see that was the recipe.
I noticed after she was really looking at the recipe to make sure she had what I needed. But I had to tease her. It wouldn't be me without. Okay, so I'm also gonna need to do a similar blend for the coconut. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that as well. But for the coconut, I don't need any butter. So this will sit to the side until I'm ready for it. I need the other round container. There we go. The coconut. The thing about the Jamaican cinnamon rolls is that they use raisins. I never liked that as a kid because I had to pick them out. But hey, we're going to make my favorite, which is the cocoa cinnamon bun. And that one, you don't necessarily need to put raisins unless you have a preference for it. So we have the shredded coconut, and this is freshly shredded coconut. It's not, say, coconut that is dried, dehydrated, sugar added, processed. It's not. I'm just checking to see if I see any chunks in there because we don't want to give folks the chunks. That's because we're introducing kids to this. We want it to be an enjoyable experience for them. And sometimes when we're grading, a little piece can escape from us. It's not the case this time around. We're good to go. My friend said she tried. Oh, I found one little piece. But you know what happens to that, right? I'm going to eat it. Waterfall. Something about coconut. But because I am preparing for the public, I ain't taking any check. And otherwise, I'm not taking a chance. So I just went and washed my hands. Although I did a waterfall. So I'm going to add some sugar. And yes, you're seeing correctly. I'm not measuring the sugar. And the reason I'm not measuring the sugar is because I just chose not to. I'm going to need more. Just get a drop of the vanilla extract. I'm going to put some of the Benjamins. I need some cinnamon. Of course, I need some cinnamon. I'll drop a bit more in the dough, the flour dough there. So just using a half. This is a cocoa cinnamon. And with the cocoa cinnamon, what I typically do, I will go ahead and sprinkle some cinnamon again. I'll put a bit of the mix. And of course, I'm going to grate me some nutmeg. I need some water.
Already put in some rolls here.
Yeah, we're going to need 4 of those.
you need them lime too, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm still debating what my topping for the cinnamon roll is going to be. Should I do the zesty fill topping? No. Do I do the traditional topping? Okay. Alrighty. That sounds like a plan. I need a fork. And it's just a matter of mixing everything together. The coconut is moist. So as you mix the coconut and the sugar together, it will get damp. And that's okay. You don't want it too wet. When I'm doing it for my family, I use almond essence. Oh God, it's amazing. The almond, the vanilla, combined with the sugar and the dry spices. Oh my goodness. I usually put a little bit of cardamom or the cloves in it. Sometimes I put a dash of the star anise as well. But because, maybe I should move this down a bit so you guys can see better. Can you see that better now? I'm just incorporating the coconut and the sugar and the spices, dry and liquid. That's all I'm doing. I shouldn't see any coconut clusters. So for this cocoa cinnamon, we'll spread the butter. That will be the first layer. And then some cinnamon will go over, sprinkle cinnamon over. And then on top of that, we put this. So this is a good blend. I may need to add a little bit more. There's a small nook of coconut. Of course, I'm going to take a little extra. And just like that, this is now ready. I'll leave the fork because it will help me to spread it better when I'm ready to go. I'm going to wrap this, and now both of my spreads are ready. That little bit of sugar and coconut, guys. Oh, taking me back to my childhood. And my grandma was baking, and she would give me just a little bit. Okay, so this is ready. I'll set this aside. So both fillings are now ready. The cinnamon spread, the coconut spread. We're doing cinnamon buns first, then cocoa cinnamons after. Yeah. So I'm still waiting on my yeast to be fully activated. This yeast and I are having an interesting relationship tonight. It's doing a slow burn for me. Look at that. The yeast is activated, but it's just taking its time. And so I have to wait. I needed to be fully activated to do what I needed to do. But when it's all get together, it's going to be super, super delicious. So earlier, if you were on with me, you saw me set aside some um, coconut milk, and I added some melted butter into it. I'm gonna go ahead and do my blend now. Because this is what's gonna make my topping on my rolls. I'm gonna brush this on. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this.
You need something for that. And that's gonna be done in like 7 minutes.
Okay. We're gonna need a saucepan. So my friend was reminded me that we're gonna pop the cornmeal pudding rather than putting a syrup on top. I chose to do a stove top and pour on. So what I'll need to do, I'll need to check to see if the pudding needs that topping or if has produced the topping naturally. For me by baking. So I'm just going to put this mix together and then I'm going to check. So now I'm going to just pour the mixture I had before, which is melted butter, coconut milk, the thing about baking, you end up using a lot of utensils. So now I'm going to just stir it together and set this aside as well. Because I don't need it yet, but I prep in advance. So when it comes time to dress the rolls or buns, whichever name you know it by, it will be ready. This is a slow process as well because I did not mix in the spices with the sugar before I add the liquid. So work smarter, guys. Don't follow that. That was an error on my part, but it can be solved just by being patient. Hi, sweetheart. I'm doing a live stream right now. That's okay. Can I call you back in a bit? If you want to talk to my mini-me, you can call her directly. Okay. Okay. Love you. Later. Okay. So thankfully I had my earpiece in. So as the call came in, it went right through. Yeah, so this is now ready too. So I will set it aside, wrap and set aside. If you guys like what you're seeing, you know, please feel free. It doesn't cost you anything. Is what I'm trying to say here. Just like my content. If you love what you're seeing, then subscribe. What it does, it helps YouTube to push my content around the world. The more people that chat to me, the more people that like what I do, the faster YouTube would help my channel to grow. So even chatting and sending a comment, hi, saying hello, telling me where you are, or whatever it is, those little blurbs, they help YouTube to say, hey, the viewers are, you know, people say the algorithm, but it's us. It's what we take in. It's what we like. We just basically tell YouTube that, hey, I like Chef Twellyah and what she's going on with. And I wouldn't mind seeing more of her content. And what they do when you do like my stuff, is that they push out my content to other. I just realized something, guys. I've been here the whole time and I did not put on my light. And that could have made such a big difference for you to see what I'm doing. Sometimes. That's what happened, but it's okay. It's all good. You still could have seen, but now it's crystal clear. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so that's what happens for me when you all like my content. Sure. So it helps me to grow on YouTube because it pushes out my content to more people. So that's why you will see people here on YouTube who say like, share, subscribe. We're not trying to pressure you to hop onto a channel that you don't like. But if you like the content, yeah, give us a like. Share it with someone you think would enjoy the content. Because it tells YouTube robots, because that's what they are, that are working in the background that, hey, this channel is not half bad. And other people like me may like it. So it works good for me. Yeah, my friend is correcting me. She's correct. She says bot, not robot. You can tell I'm old school, eh? Wow. So this is the surface I'm going to use to roll out my dough. So I'm making sure it's clear of all debris. I'm going to do a wipe also after. So I'm just going to make a little bit of room around. Thank you. None of you guys are here. Yay. It's a party. Yeah, there's a party in the town. Which town? I don't know. Where are you from? Let me know. And I'll tell you which town the party's at. That's just my way of saying thank you. I appreciate you for hopping on the stream. Let me know if you like my content. And share. Help me to grow on YouTube. That's what I'm asking you to do. Because every time we like a video, every time we watch a video, YouTube is like, hey, this is new content and they like it. That means another 1,000, another 5,000, another 50,000 folks will like it. So they push out my content to a little bit more people each time someone likes it. And that is awesome for me because it helps me to reach more people. So you, the people, the power is in your hands. So when you hop across the stream and you see something that you like, don't hesitate to give a thumbs up. I'm just going to check on the puddings to see. Ooh. Yeah, they be good. So now I'm going to do my topping for it and pour it on. Yeah, we can end it. Trying to make some room in our small space, guys. Hey, look at my friend. Look what she whipped up today. That's a black cake, a vegan black cake at that. See? Yay. So the kids are going to get a full exposure to the Jamaican culture. Yeah, so my yeast is really taking its time. And I can't complain. I wanted to do what it's doing. Okay, so I should have probably put the wrap on it early because I can feel the heat immediately once I remove the wrap. No, I don't want it to get too hot. My friend was suggesting put them on the stove, but because I want to... No, it's warm. When I pulled off the plastic, the heat jumped at me. So it just needed to be covered so that it could do its thing. So guys, I really appreciate you hopping on. My battery is really low on this device. I promise that when we go to roll out the doughs, I'll come back on so you guys can see in real time us making these rolls, okay? Thanks again. It's your girl, Chef Twellyah, and I am grateful. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you guys in a bit if you're around. If not, you can check it out when I post my shorts later on. And I'll see you then. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. Thanks for the share. And let's grow together. Remember, now I'm just like 200 subscribers, like 210, I think, earlier when I checked. Who knows? When I blow up, you want to say, oh, I was there from the beginning, right? That's what my daughter says. So I'm encouraging you to support me and other small creators on YouTube. Help us to grow our channels and be a part of the journey because we appreciate and we can only grow with your support. Bye for now. Take care. God bless.